Civilization student from the Department of History and Civilization, and also Sister Rachel Noorajavi, final year political science student from Indonesia. I am Ilya Marsha, a final year communication student. It is my pleasure to be your host for today's Cultural Dialogue Series 4, organized by IRKHS Students Society in collaboration with Brunei Student Union and sponsored by Aunila Group. On behalf of the organizing team, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for spending your evening with us. I hope we will have a fruitful discussions with both of our international friends and learn more about their cultures. So brothers and sisters, as we are about to begin, I would like to again seek your cooperation throughout this webinar. Kindly keep your microphones muted to avoid any noise or interruption. And any questions for the speakers, you may propose it to the speakers in the Q&A session after each sharing. Thank you for your kind cooperation and attention. So as you can see on the slide is our timeline for the event. So do we have the slides now? So we wait for the slides. Okay, it's loading. Great. So first we will start with the sharing by our first speaker, Paulius, who will be introducing the culture of Lithuania. Afterwards, we'll have a Q&A session with Paul on Lithuania's culture, the time where you'll be able to feed your curiosity about a new country, a new culture. So this is the time, please ask a lot of questions. Next, after Paul, we'll have the sharing from Rachel about the beautiful Indonesian culture. Similarly, we also have a Q&A session with Rachel. Please ask, is our neighboring country, of course, you are curious. So we will then end with 6 Kahoot quizzes based on both of the sharings. So reminder for everyone to be as attentive as you can be, because we have a surprise gift for the winner of Kahoot. So ladies and gentlemen, so we will start with the event now, finally, right? So our first speaker is from Lithuania. He will be sharing about Lithuania's culture. For those who are curious, Lithuania is actually 6 hours behind Malaysia. So since we are now at 9:11 p.m., they are currently at 3:11 p.m. in Lithuania right now. So without further ado, let's hear from Brother Paul on his sharing. Brother Paul, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So let me share the slides, right? Okay, can you see it?
Yes, it's on. Great. Yes, we can see it.
Okay. And you see that big one right now?
Yes, it's the big one.
Okay, great. Alhamdulillah. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, I am Paulius Bergaudas, the last year student from as already was told, from the Department of History and Civilization. And I want to, inshallah, today I'll present my culture, which is a bit interesting because in the History and Civilization, we are studying culture, science of cultures. So it's like kind of a bit close to my field. So I'm happy about that. So here you can see our flag and the country, how it looks in the map. So the first question is usually asked for me when I tell somebody that I'm from Lithuania. They'll ask me, where is this? Because nobody knows about it because it's too small. And here, if you look, you see the map of Europe. And you see Lithuania like a small country near the Baltic Sea, something in between Russia and Poland. So usually when I say between Russia and Poland, people start to understand. And interesting thing about this Baltic Sea near Lithuania is that in this sea, you can find a lot of these stones, which is called amber. So this is a fossilized tree resin around 50 million year old. And actually this stone, when it goes to the seaside, people used to collect it and make from it a jewelry. And this type of jewelry became like a traditional Lithuanian jewelry since like Neolithic times. So it's also, the stone is become like part of our culture, so some kind of symbol of Lithuania. And even very interesting thing, you can see in it, there are some small insects or small animals So it is preserved. 50 million year old animals are preserved in that, like naturally preserved in those tombs. So just interesting thing to mention. Another thing, Lithuania used to be the part of Soviet Union. Probably you have heard about it. So you can see the contemporary Russia, and there on the left side is Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And of course, this thing affects our everything, our economy. It was like more than 50 years, and not 50, sorry, like 40, more than 40 years of this occupation. And because of that, we got a lot of problems. I don't know, maybe you have talked to somebody who is from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. There are some students in our university also from post-Soviet Union countries. So it really gives bad emotions, bad memories, and maybe because of this, we have very big suicide rate. Alhamdulillah, now it's getting better, but it used to be almost like first in the world. And also the problem of alcoholism, and probably like this is related, affected by Soviet Union. But alhamdulillah, by now we are getting out from it. Like our culture is trying to separate from those old bad memories. So I started like with bad things. Now inshallah I'll get better and better. Okay, so I was asked to talk about what is our religions or ethnicities. So you can see here the picture from our capital, Vilnius. And you can see in the middle, there is kind of big cross, golden cross. So as you see, this is Lithuania is a Christian, majority Christian country. And we have a lot of churches, but also there are other religions and quite very old communities of other religions. We have Jews, of course, we have Muslim communities and a lot of others. And actually what is interesting about them, particularly about Muslim community in Lithuania, is that it is very old. It's around 600-year-old Muslim community, which is comparing to other European countries. I could say that Lithuania is the first country to allow Muslims, first European country to allow Muslims to stay in there. When it would be unimaginable that there will be Muslims in like in UK or some like France, but in the Lithuania there used to be, and actually relatively we were very tolerant to other religions comparing to the rest of Europe. Even we had so many a very big Jewish community. Even the Vilnius, the Lithuanian capital, used to be called as the second Jerusalem. And the students of Judaism, they would be coming from Palestine to Lithuania to study, just for studies of Judaism. So it's something very interesting because it's a small country, but like we have this culture of tolerance since like very, very long time. Now it's not that much good, probably because of the Soviet Union times, what we lived through that. But it is like you can feel that more tolerance here. Specifically for Lithuania, like if you go to Poland, you will not see these things. And here, as I mentioned, you can see the Lithuanian masjids. So some of them are very old, like, and I think the oldest written record about the first masjid in Lithuania is like almost like 500 years ago. So it's very, very old. Of course, now it was like rebuilt, but we can see like we have very old Muslim community, which is mostly Tatars. Okay, now I'll talk about that. Here you can, this is also one of the symbols of Lithuania, which is the castle, like very beautiful castle. And you can see, maybe it's for Malaysians, it should be, and Indonesians, very interesting because you can see it is during the winter and the trees are white. So I don't know if it's because of snow or because of the ice. And actually it's quite often when winter starts to come, the whole forest becoming white. So it's a very beautiful thing. If you have never been in winter, you should come here to see it and see how beautiful it looks. And another thing interesting about this castle is that inside it has a museum. And in that museum, we have like one room, one section for Tatar history in Lithuania. And in that section, there is a like 200 or even 300-year-old Quran. The one which was held by Lithuanian Tatars, Lithuanian Muslims. You can see that museum. And the third thing, interesting thing about this, it is built for one duke who was almost became a king. It's like great Duke Vytautas the Great. And so why it is related, that he built that castle, and in that castle there is the Muslim exhibition, because he was that man who brought Muslims to Lithuania. So he was fighting with the crusaders, Teutonic Order from Germany. And in that time in Russia, in the Golden Horde, there was some problem between the Tatars, between the Muslims themselves. So some group of them, we joined him as a mercenaries. He took them as his like personal guards. So we are like best soldiers. And here you can see the battle map. This battle map is like one of the, not one of the, probably the most important battle in the Lithuanian history, especially the Lithuanian national history. And you can see there in the, can you see my arrow, which I'm showing? Or you just see the screen?
We can see your arrow.
Okay, so you can see here is the written Tatar camp, right? So this was a Muslim group, like a Muslim camp, which was fighting in the most decisive or most important Lithuanian battle. So it's also interesting fact. And actually, when we are learning in this in the school, we learned that there was one movement made by these Tatars when we tricked the Teutonic Order by their horses. Like we made special movement, and because of that movement, we were able to win the battle. So because of Muslims, we were able to win the most important battle in our history. This is, we are talking about European history. So yeah, this is an interesting thing. Okay, now we go to see how we dress. This is a funny thing. One time I showed similar picture to my Palestinian friend, and he was saying, I told him this is Lithuanian family picture. He was, mashallah, she is Muslim, the woman. Actually, she is not. This is the traditional Lithuanian Christian clothes. Like you can see, basically it's wearing hijab and like abaya. And this is like still until today, some people, when we have some special celebration, national celebration, we will like wear this type of clothes for like feeling, I don't know, feeling proud or like feeling their heritage. We will be wearing this. So you see that so far the Lithuanian culture is very Islamic, right? Even though it's a Muslim minority. But of course today nobody is wearing that. This is only in the past. Now we go to what we eat. So this is, I think, the most funny part which I'm going to present, because basically we eat potatoes. Of course, in Malaysia, if you probably, yeah, you tried potatoes, but those are like not potatoes. For me, when I was eating, I was suffering from them. It's like eating a plastic. I think we are coming from China or somewhere, but not local. In Lithuania, when I came back, like half a year ago, I came back to Lithuania from staying like 2 years in Malaysia, and I eat these potatoes, Lithuanian potatoes. I feel like it's cake, so sweet, so nice. And like since the potatoes came to Europe, like 500 years ago, or probably in the last 300 years, it became popularized in Lithuania. And at that time, we are under, not under Soviet Union, but under the Tsar, like Russian Empire. So we are also occupied, and we probably people were living bad time in that time. So the only thing we had to eat is potato. But what happens when the only food you have is potato? You start to become more, you open your imagination. And if you look throughout Lithuanian traditional dishes, you'll find that most of them are actually made from potato, but all of them are different. So here is potato pancake. Here is potato pancake with meat inside. This is boiled potato, like boiled smashed potato with meat inside. This is potato balls. This is smashed potato. This is something like smashed potato, a bit different. This is just cooked potato. This is potato pie. So we can do anything from potato. You tell us, and we do it. And this is not potato. You see, it's pink soup. People ask how come it's pink soup. It is made by beetroot. Actually, it's possible to make it in Malaysia. Something I tried one time. Unfortunately, there is like special ingredient which you don't have, but you could try to make it with iron. And you put a boiled beetroot, like the milk, it will become pink. But you say, alhamdulillah, finally not potato. Actually, this dish have to be eaten with potato. You can see there. The soup is cold, and there is hot potatoes, and you eat it with potato. So we cannot avoid potato. Everything will have it. And another nice thing is milk. This is also in Malaysia. Most of the milk is comparing to here is very bad quality. Alhamdulillah, in Lithuania we have the best milk in the world. And yeah, if you come here only for milk, it's worth it. because in Malaysia milk is like water. Here the milk you can feel the sweetness. Any milk, even it's cheap, very cheap, but it will be the best one in Malaysia. If you want good milk, you will pay 20 ringgit. Here you might get it for 2-3 ringgit. And also because we have a lot of good quality milk, we make a lot of things from the milk. So here you see like just normal cheese. Here is butter here, the milk, and this is, we call it varshke. It doesn't translate to, it's like a milk, not milk, like a tough milk product, which will be like small pieces, and they will stick together. It is also a very tasty thing. And there's also sour cream, we call it. It's make like also like tough cream. We put it on potatoes. So it's even the milk products, we put them on potato. Everything's connected. And also we have a lot of nice honey. My grandfather personally, he is holding bees. We have a lot of honey keeping traditions. In the past, it used to be almost sacred to, like, if you are beehiver, the person who's holding bees, you will be like half sacred man, something like that, like very, very important part of the society. And also, yeah, this honey is much cheaper than Malaysia and also very tasty. What we play? Our national sports, and our national game is not, usually it is football in all over the world, but in Lithuania it's different. We must be different, so we play basketball. The basketball is #1, and you can see here, I took this picture because it's written 2004 Olympic victory against the United States. The United States is like so big and it's best of the best in the basketball, but Lithuania, being so small country, managed to win over them. So this is like very big achievement. Unfortunately, now it's going to a very low level, our basketball, but we can remember good times, right? And here's, you see the emotions we have when we play. And the interesting thing, this guy here, maybe you see him a bit similar to me, because there's actually my brother. Yeah, he is a professional basketball player. So you see, in my family, we have beekeeper and we have a basketball player because there is just too many of them. And another nice thing is that one of the world's strongest men in the history, or somebody say the world's strongest men in the history, is actually coming from Lithuania. So we also have like this heavy weightlifting culture. Like there are a lot of people into this sport. Not the fitness, but heavyweight. The ones who are carrying the highest load possible. Those who are taking truck and like putting truck in another place. If you know the sport. What is our language? So Lithuanian language is considered as very archaic, or like very old language, and it's coming from the Indo-European languages, and it's actually very similar to Sanskrit, which is the oldest language in the world. So you can see the words here, Bhutis, Viešpats, like all very similar words, which we use in Lithuanian language. And actually, even I noticed some similarities between Malay words, like the honey in Lithuanian language is medus, and I think in Bahasa Malay or Bahasa Indonesia it's madu, right? Something like that. At least Google said me like that, madu. So there's like you can see the connection. You can see how Lithuanian have this old words which are coming from Sanskrit, basically from India subcontinent. So we are also like feeling nice about our language, and also it's very super difficult language. You don't want to learn it; it's too hard. So it's basically, I know speak better English than Lithuanian, and then don't ask me Lithuanian grammar. It's like forget it. The hardest thing students have in their school is the Lithuanian language. Nobody knows Lithuanian language. Maybe a few people in the world. we don't know it. We can speak it, but yeah, it's too hard to learn everything. And how we celebrate Eid. So this is an interesting thing because we are a Muslim minority country. And also let me mention about the Ramadan. You may think that, it's Muslim minority, so it should be more sad because people around you are not fasting, people around you are not celebrating. But the nice thing is that when we are doing it all small community, all together. Like in the Ramadan, for every night, we will go to for every iftar, we will go to a restaurant. We will sit together. All Muslims from that city will sit together, and you will have the iftar. So you will know all of the Muslims there, and you will have the iftar with the same people. So you really make the friendship. And then you go to pray all together, all Muslims from that city pray in one place. So it's some brothers told me that, some brothers from Bangladesh told me it's more nice to have Ramadan here in Muslim minority place than in Bangladesh itself. So it's an interesting thing. And also for the Eid, what we will do, we will go to pray as everywhere. So this is one of our Islamic center, the mosque from Islamic center picture. So you see it's full of people, alhamdulillah. And of course, yeah, we have nice community, so we'll take together a picture. And everyone can fit in that picture because we are just two less. But also it's nice because you know everyone. And then the nicest part will be that we will have in one place in Lithuania, it will be like organized celebration place. So all Muslims from Lithuania will go to that one place to celebrate. And we will arrange for the children attractions, places to play popcorns. You can see this from another place, like popcorn table, also for children. And because we have this old Tatar community who are coming from Central Asia, and also we have a lot of Uzbeks and Kyrgyz brothers who are coming from Russia. We will be making traditional pulov, their traditional dish, and it's very tasty. If you have some Kyrgyz or Uzbek or Kazakh brothers, you must ask them to make this for you. And there will be the bow shooting, and of course prayer. So it's a very nice feeling when you are all countries Muslims are going there and meeting each other and talking and celebrating. It's not like we are minority, it will be said, no, it will be, you'll be very happy to have an Eid in here. And yeah, eating together again. So that's from me. And if you have any questions, yeah, please ask me. I'll be happy to answer you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Brother Paul. It's a really insightful presentation or sharing, I would say. I personally admire the fact that Lithuanians are really into potatoes. Personally, I really like potatoes. I am quite obsessed with them. So there's quite a similarity with the Malaysian culture, whereas it's like carbs are like our daily diet. We eat rice, but Lithuanians eat potatoes and not rice. So that is interesting. And also, I really admire the fact that Lithuanians, Muslims are very united. They have their own celebration of Eid at one place, eating together. Somewhat like Malaysians, whereby we celebrate at one place, but it's only like our hometowns. So I really enjoyed the presentation. Now it is time for the Q&A session. I'm sure most of you here are not from Europe or have not experienced living in Lithuania before. So here's your chance to ask your burning questions in relation to the country or to clarify your doubts. So for the Zoom audience, if you have any questions for Paul, you may put your name and the question in the chat box, or if you wish to speak out, you may do so when our team calls out your name. So we will attend to you as soon as possible. I think we do have some questions inside here. So wait, so the first question is from Mus'ab. So do you play basketball, Paul?
Me personally? I'm bad player. Yeah, sometimes I play, but I'm just bad player. It's not for me. My father is playing, my brother is professional player, but somehow I'm just different in this game.
The DNA just missed you quite, it missed you quite literally there.
Yeah.
So, Paul. So we do have the second question here. So do most Lithuanian know or speak English? Because you did say that Lithuanian is quite hard to learn.
Yeah, for the older generation which grew up in the Soviet times, like my parents' generation and grandparents, of course, we will speak more Russian. But the younger generation, around 30 up to 30-year-old, usually we will speak English. Like our generation will speak English.
So is English is like your main language there? Do you most people?
No. Together we will speak Lithuanian, of course. But
But
if you
you
like,
know,
we have very good English program in the school. So after you finish the school, after you graduate, you already can speak quite well English. But
oh,
between us, no.
oh, that's very good to know. So another question from Izai. So can foreigners marry Lithuanian women? Of course you can, right?
Yeah.
So
It's Eastern Europe. It's a bit no. It's easy to marry. Maybe harder to get the passport. If you need passport. Western Europe will be more easy for passports. But of course, there is no restriction for marriage.
I see. So do you have any recommended hiking places in Lithuania? Lithuania is very beautiful.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this part to mention. Yeah, that castle is one of them. So I didn't really forgot. Otherwise, yeah, the capital, of course, you must visit the capital, Vilnius. They also put its picture. And I didn't put the picture of the seaside, unfortunately, I forgot about it. I'm staying in the port city, so I'm staying near the Baltic Sea. So it's very, very beautiful here. I can go like 10 minutes by car. I can stay in the beach. We have very long beach. In Malaysia, it's a bit problematic to find a beach. There's not that much of them. But here is like all the part which is connecting with the sea, all is beach, like literally like 90 kilometers long beach. You can walk through it.
I'm jealous now. So I think if Sister Nabila wants to know more, you can contact Paul personally after the event to know more about some recommended hiking places. So our third question. So
There was hiking places question about hiking. I didn't hear it. Yeah, for hiking, it's a good question, because one of the things that Lithuania is famous for is that we are super flat land. There is no mountains. The highest mountain in Lithuania is 200 meters, the highest place. So if you're interested in hiking 200-meter hill, then you can do it. But otherwise, it's not for hiking. Yeah, don't go here. You can come here for milk and potatoes, and basketball, but no hiking.
So Lithuania is a very beachy place. It's very flat, no mountains, not much mountains.
Yeah. Of course, it has a nice thing that you cannot see the mountains, but you can see the sky. We have very big horizons, so especially when the storm is coming, it looks very impressive here.
Great, thank you, Paul. So we have some more questions. So does Lithuanians know Malaysia as a country? Is it,
yeah, of course, we know. For the tourism, it's quite popular. In Malaysia, Indonesia, the Borneo Island, I think it's very popular destination for the tourists.
Oh, so is Lithuania is known as a touristic country? Do you have tourists all year round?
Yeah, we have, mostly in the summer, because in the winter it's too cold. Of course, not that much. It's not like economy is based on tourism like Turkey or other countries, but we have, of course, there is tourism.
So it's a beautiful country with beautiful views.
Yeah, no mountains, big skies.
Yeah, big skies. So of course you have tourists, especially in the summer when people can see. Especially it's a beachy place. Yeah. So we have some more questions. Where can I have Lithuanian cuisines in Malaysia? Do you have any recommendation?
Lithuanian cuisine. Oh, this is something I wish that existed, but it doesn't. I'm afraid it doesn't exist. And the problem is that even like I try to cook it myself at home, but it's different materials. Like the potato in Malaysia is different. The beetroot is different. There is not a good, like suitable milk. So you will try to do it. It will be different. Still, it will be much different from the real Lithuanian cuisine. You must come here. There is no excuses. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have a recommendation yet. If you want to actually feel the Lithuanian experience, you have to go to Lithuania itself.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I will take that into note, Paul. So okay, we have one more question from Anas. Is it expensive to go to Lithuania? Flights, accommodation, etc. What do you think, Paul?
Days, It's quite expensive. Like relatively, you would expect it to be cheaper, but it's having quite high, especially the renting rate and the living rate compared to the local salaries. It's quite expensive, like more expensive than Malaysia.
Oh, okay. And please have your savings before you go to Lithuania if you plan to do so. So, oh, we do have one more question from Khadija. So, what is the average income for the country if it were to convert into ringgit?
About 4,000 maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Not that much, but the prices is more expensive. I think in Malaysia it's similar, like that. 4,000, 5,000 is like like decent salary, but the things are much cheaper. I used to live like 300 ringgit per month. Here for 300 ringgit you can live, I don't know, 2-3 days.
Okay, great. So it's quite comparable to Malaysia. So do we have more questions from the floor? Please do ask. If anyone wants to raise their questions and ask, please do so. Please raise your hand maybe. Oh, now Nabila is asking about diving places in Lithuania.
It's nice. Yeah, we have quite a lot of lakes. So in those lakes you can dive. Unfortunately, it's not like maybe in Malaysia you'll find in very clean water where you can dive like 10 meters and see everything. Here it will not be like that. It will be so not dirty, but like very not clear. Yeah, not clear water. You can still swim in there. You can dive in there, but you will see like maybe 1 meter what is in front of you, 2 meter, not more than that.
Oh, I see. It's you have diving places, but it's not as sightful as you think.
Yeah, usually it's not popular unless you want to dive, but there will be nothing interesting to see.
Okay, great. I think Anas raised his hand just now. So Anas, do you have any questions for Paul?
I wrote it in the chat, but just curious on, do we have many students from Lithuania in IUM?
I can answer this question like this. Like when I got invited to be speaker here, I told my parents that you see your son is being elected as he's the best Lithuanian student from Lithuanian community. So he's elected to be the presenter. And I'm the only one Lithuanian in the UAE. So it's easy to be the best for me.
Oh, yeah. So you are the only one. So wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Representative. We have a representative. Good to know. So, we have a request from Fatiha. Could you try speaking Lithuanian? Maybe introduce yourself?
Me speaking Lithuanian.
Yes.
Sveiki, aš esu Paulius Bergaudas, aš esu studentas Malaizijos universitete.
It sounds very Arabic-ish.
Arabic, maybe. Some people say Russian.
Yeah.
It's just different.
So, thank you for that, Paul. We have one more from Adam. Is it easy to get a job there in Lithuania?
If you are Lithuanian, it depends on what type of job you want. It's always easy to get a bad job. If you're a foreigner, it will be more hard to get a job. Unless you're like specialist in some field and you're needed, then you can get it.
Okay, everyone, please listen to Paul and don't go there if you are a foreigner looking for a job, because there's not much job for you.
No, you can, if you make you already know you can get a job from there, you have some contact, then you can go. Otherwise, if you want to work in the restaurant to cook something, you can do that.
Yes, be a chef instead if you want to go to Lithuania. So do we have any more questions from the floor? Please ask. Okay. Oh yes, Salam. You have to be a specialist and you can go there. Do you have more questions? I'm pretty sure Paul is more than happy to entertain you guys. Maybe we wait 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, we have one. Why do you choose to study in IIUM, being the only Lithuanian here?
We have one a Mufti of Lithuania, and he had a contact of one doctor from IIIT who was giving scholarships in UAE. So I applied for a few universities, but I got accepted first at UAE, and I just applied to it.
Alhamdulillah.
So it was through IIIT. Yeah.
It's like your destiny. You didn't plan to go, just apply, and then you are here, and then
First I didn't plan. It was so far away. I thought I better go to some Arab country or Turkey. Oh man, I would have to fly 13 hours in that plane. But Qadar Allah, and I'm very happy about that.
Great, Alhamdulillah. We are so happy to have you here as well. So any more questions from the floor before we close out and move on to our second speaker? Yes, now you're the best top Lithuanian student here in IIUM. Very happy to have you here. You are the best. Okay, any more questions, or we'll close the floor and move on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. So thank you, Brother Paul, for the sharing. So I hope that all of you are paying attention because we have a Kahoot quiz later on. So now it's time for the sharing of the second culture. With us is Rachel Noorajavi, a final year political science student from Indonesia. So unlike Lithuania, Indonesia is only 1 hour behind Malaysia. So now it's only 8:45 there. So maybe Rachel's parents can listen to her sharing now. So without further ado, let's hear from Rachel. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Marsha, for warm welcoming and honorable President Anas Hayyan and my fellows here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good evening, everyone. I'm Rachel Noorajavi. Some people calling me Rachel, some other calling me Rahel, the way Indonesian pronounce Rahel. Others Indonesian are calling me Rachel and other. So I can be called by anything. So thank you so much for having me, IRKHS Students Society. Here we go. I'm here with a presentation which will be presenting about my country, Indonesia, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. I put it there. This is a Sanskrit word which means by unity in diversity. So here I'd like to have you all to get to know Indonesian culture. You guys can see here our flag, red and white, kind of similar with Monaco. So you guys need to like having some it's kind of like confusing to see the same similar flag, but the different compared to Monaco is the dimension. So our flag is like more wider than the Monaco's. Anyway, I'd like to start this. Can anyone go to the next slide, please? Okay, so, okay, where is Indonesia? This is a really simple question, and I think you guys have known about this. Indonesia's right in the Southeast Asia. We can all see from the top. We can see Burma, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, and then we see Malaysia out there. Below Malaysia, we have Singapore, and after that, we have this archipelago, which called Indonesia, consists of many islands. We have Sumatra, we have Java, we have Borneo Island, we have Celebes or Sulawesi, we have Papua, we have Bali, the famous Bali. So I'm really glad that we have this kind of variety of island in which giving us chance to explore our country, because yeah, it's not only one island, so we can go everywhere with very different culture and different and variety of tribes and so on. So please go to the next slide. Here we go. So basically the large of Indonesia is like around 5,180,053 kilometer square. We can see it out there. First, it started at the Sumatra, Sabang, to the west. To the east, it's Papua, and right there, if you can see that note, I'm there. I'm in Central Java here in Solo, Indonesia, near to Yogyakarta. If you guys have known about this place is like having a lot of heritages. We have a lot of culture, customs, and so on. And Indonesia is fascinatingly having like 13 and 466 island in our states, compared to Finlandia, which Finlandia, if I'm not mistaken, is having like 100,000 island. But fascinatingly, our population is like the population of Finlandia is like 1 per 13 of Indonesian's population. So if we see to the globe, most of the population is coming to the Southeast Asia, and yeah, most of them are in Indonesia. We are spread in these states with various islands. And fascinatingly too, we have around 1,340 tribes. So if I am here, if you guys can see that I'm in Central Java, if I'm here in Central Java and I go to the west, I will go to Jakarta, I will go to Banten with various of tribes, various of languages. And if I go to the east, I will go to Surabaya, I will go to Bali with various languages and various tribes too, and various culture. And this is really interesting because once I go to another island, I will find another way of speaking, another way of people reacting to other people. So this is really interesting because yeah, it's interesting and challenge as well, because we need to adapt even if with Indonesian people. So on the other hand, we have 700 languages. I couldn't mention one by one because there are a lot of it. But our formal language is Bahasa Indonesia, really similar to Malaysia. But we have different dialect. And again, if I mention I'm here in Java, if I go to Jakarta, they will be having another accent. If go to Banten or Jawa Barat, if I could say the West Java, they will be speaking Sunda. And if I go to East Java, they will be speaking Java language with different accent. If I go to Madura, which is still in Java Island, they will be speaking another language. If I go to Bali, they will be speaking another language. So this is really challenging yet interesting for us. So next slide, please. Okay, culture and ethnicity. As I mentioned before, we have like 1,000 tribes. You guys can see the diverse of clothes and how people can how we can represent the diversity in that photo. And after that, we have this kind of like ancient language came from Sanskrit. This is really interesting because if I notice to what Paul mentioned before in his presentation, that Lithuanian language is come from the Sanskrit too. Indonesian language is actually also having we can refer to the Sanskrit language, which nowadays some Javan people are still using this Hana Caraka Data Sawala pada Jayanya Mangga Batanga. It looks like Thailand's language. I mean Thailand's letters, but it's not. So this is really interesting. However, to give you all more look about Indonesia and the vibes, I'd like to share you a 5 minutes video. Can you go to the next slide? Because the video is then on the next slide. There you go. I think we can start the video and yeah, having a bit and leaving this presentation so you guys can see what is on the video. Is the audio, is it audible though? Oh, it isn't audible. Okay, then I'll explain. Excuse me?
I think Isaac can share his audio, his screen audio.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be more. We can feel the vibes if we are listening to the audio.
Many wonders of these enchanted islands, inspiring histories of the land below the wind, astounding relics from prehistoric times are testament to the wondrous age-old cultures. Here, fascinating indigenous folkways live through the test of time, emphasizing the resilience of local creativity and vigor. Magnificent divine temples adorn the landscape, as if forming an exhibition of pervasive spirituality. Religion has always been the cornerstone of life since ancient times. Indigenous wisdoms are traditionally practiced in pursuance of living in harmony with nature, filling the hearts of both hosts and visitors. Funeral rites is a festivity, as much as it is a celebration of life, an occasion to gather family members from all over the world. Rich architectural heritage, shaped by diverse cultural, historical, and geographical influences, recognized as one of Indonesia's true national treasures. Today's legacy of art and craft continues to enrich the culture, playing a significant role in the daily and ceremonial life of the people, adapting wonderful traditional art form to modern times, resulting in popular tourist attraction. Keeping remarkable folk artistic expression alive. As they are embodiment of the locals' way of life. Astounding cultural and historical diversity, where various cultures have crossed paths for many centuries. Impressive variety of numerous ethnic groups. An interwoven history of Indonesia's beautiful diversity. Cultural history unfolds in the landscape. Wonderful Indonesia.
Well, I hope you guys have a nice watching. So next slide, please. This is really interesting because by this 5-minute, I think 3 minutes video, we can see how diverse is the culture in Indonesia, as we have a lot of tribes and a lot of languages, a lot of people, a lot of races, which by then somehow creating some issue of racism as well inside of our state. But still, this is really interesting because we are developing this kind of tolerance and kind of living in diversity, as we say, as I said before, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, unity in diversity as our slogan of our state. So we're struggling on this, and this is really fascinating for all of us. I'm sorry. So. For the next slide is, I'd like to tell you, if Paul saying that Lithuania is the minority Muslim country, I'd like to say Indonesia is the contrary of that. We are the biggest Muslim country in the world. So according to the top 10 countries with largest number of Muslim in 2021, this refer to internet. So it's changed accordingly, but still Indonesia is being the top first country. So we have like around 230 million Muslim population in Indonesia. Well, after it, followed by Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Egypt, Iran, Turkey, Algeria, and Sudan. This is really interesting to see that we have the largest number of Muslim in Indonesia. However, if I go tracing back to our history, Indonesia is originated by Hinduism and Buddhism. So as we know before, Paul also mentioning about the Sanskrit, they are Buddhist and Hindu. And after that, in 13th century, Islam came by the Indian and the Arabs for the merchant stuff. And then Islam was preached by then some group of people called Wali Songo by merging Hindu culture with Islamic teaching. So this is really interesting. If I could say, how the way Wali Songo spreading Islam into Indonesia is very soft and tolerant, and they're doing it really, I could say, what is that? Really convenient. So the dawah is delivered in wise language, mixed in a simple teaching, and adopted to the community according to the local customs and belief. As the Buddhism and Hinduism is those who are, what could I say? Those who are like worshipping things and doing some customs like singing and celebrating stuff. While in Islam, it's kind of something mubah. Wali Songo is bringing this way to spread and delivering delivering Islam in Indonesia. And this is really interesting because there is one song I call it Lir Ilir. It's a Javanese song in which used by Wali Songo to spread Islam to Hindu culture in Java. And by that song, people are going bit by bit coming to Islam. And this song is, can I sing though? Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. I'm ready with this. So the song is like leri ler tandure wong sumilir. Wait, sorry. Ta ijo royo ta sungguh temanten anyar. Cah angon penek no blimbing kui lunyu penek no kanggo basuh dodo iro. Okay, so the song is actually telling us about how do we understanding life as a person who are not waken up. We're still sleeping. So lir ilir means like wake up, something like that. So wake up from your sleep, wake up from your Jahiliyah era and come to Islam. And this song is like bringing you with Javanese language, an understanding to embrace Islam, but by song. And that's how Wali Songo is bringing Islam to Hindu culture in Java. And this is really interesting. So next slide, please. Can it be, is it, okay. Besides, we are the largest Muslim community in the world. I should say too that we have Christian, we have Hinduism, we have Buddhism, and we have a lot of religions in Indonesia. Some are animism, some are dynamism, some of them are still like worshipping tree, some of them are still worshipping rocks, and and so on. But the general religion is like Christian, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. And this Hinduism and Buddhism, beside of Christian, is really interesting too, because we can find Hinduism and Buddhism around the state, around the country. So if you go from Java, from the West Java to the East Java, there must be some places with a lot of temple. You guys can see it at Yogyakarta. There is this one, our heritage. You guys know it as Borobudur. It's one of the what could I say? The word heritage. And this Borobudur and this photo, the dances, is something which representing Hinduism and Buddhism. However, this dance and the architecture of the buildings are having a value of understanding the world. And this is really fascinating. So there is this one story from Buddhist priest I have ever heard. So there was a Buddhist priest told a child to go around a house of worship, and he needs to go around the house of worship like for 7 times, bringing a jug of water. And then when the boys going around surrounding the house of worship, it was successful for the first round, and the second round is successful too. Third round, fourth round, fifth round, and sixth round is successful too. But at the seventh round, the other children saw him strange, bringing the jug with nothing, no purpose, just like bringing the jug of water, and they are making fun of him. And because of that, the child couldn't ignore the chatter of the children, so that the water in jug got spilled. And then the priest is coming to the child, and he said, like, how could you spill the water? And the child answered, because I listened to them making fun of me. And then the priest of Buddhist said, this is what you are learning from the word. We have purpose, and your purpose is to be focused to the water. But if you are listening to what people said, if you are listening to how people making fun of you, you're not going to be success, because you're just focused on them. You're not focusing on your water. So this one something that I learned from how Buddhism and Hinduism is embracing the mean of life. And by Islam and the tolerance in Indonesia, this all compiled in one. And yeah, we live in diversity and inshallah full of tolerance. And this is really fascinating. Next slide, please. Wait. Okay, this is quite interesting, but quite sensitive too, because a few days ago, Adidas just mentioned something about Indonesia and wayang. So here, Indonesia have wayang, we have temple, we have batik, which Malaysia has too. And this is really interesting because, again, if I mention this is something which is coming from Majapahit, from the Sanskrit world, the Sanskrit era, we can say that we have a lot of similarities. We have a lot of, we have a lot of similarities, but we have our own style. And this is really interesting. And yeah, we should embrace these similarities between Indonesia and Malaysia, as we are negara serumpun. And I hope this go for something that we praise for, our temple, wayang, and batik. So next slide, please. I think it's kind of a bit laggy on my side, so I should wait. Okay, so we have food and culinary. For Lithuania, they have potatoes, a lot of potatoes. While Indonesia have a lot of things, from the spicy one to the very sweet one. We have nasi tumpeng here. Do Malaysia have nasi tumpeng though? I think yes, for some celebrations.
Yes.
Or something, yeah. So we have nasi tumpeng here. We have the same thing, nasi tumpeng with nasi kuning, and then a lot of other food, the sort of food like fried chicken, and then so on and so on. And we also have rendang, and I think Malaysia has rendang too. Usually cooked at the 8. And then we have here serabi. Does Malaysia have serabi? Okay, no answer. So I think no. So serabi is actually like pancake, but with Indonesian cushions, something like that. So it's something sweet, come from Solo and Jogja. You can find it in Solo and Jogja. There are chocolate, there are coconut, and so on and so on. And the last is sate, but I think we have a lot of other things like nasi padang, and then Indomie, the famous Indomie, even though it's not the traditional one, but people are eating Indomie. I know that. So yeah, we have sate, we have Indomie, and I think this is easy to eat. I mean, it's friendly eating, the food which is friendly eating for all people. People can eat this. So yeah, come to Indonesia and let's hunt food together. So next slide, please. Okay, for Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, Indonesia lives in harmony among neighborhood where when it arrives, all residents in one area will hold takbir, like takbiran. We say takbiran around the area with torch and fire to enliven Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, even if the electricity is there. So it's just becoming our culture, our custom to go with torch and fire, the real fire, to go around the region or kampung or something. Yeah, and do takbir with others and celebrating Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So next slide, please. Okay, wedding customs. I'm sorry for the inconvenience if I'm speaking this really late, because in my site it goes delay, maybe because of my device. So anyway, wedding customs. We have a lot of some rituals in our wedding customs, because I could only mention the Java one, because I'm not sure how is the Sumatrans and how is the Borneos, how is the Celebes, how is the Papuans. But in Java, there is some like ritual to clean the husband feet with water of flour, and then like stepping on the egg, and then eating together, having a bath in front of people. It's not a bath like being naked, but when the bride come with her clothes, and then mother and father is like pouring water of flour to the bride, and then it's like it's coming with the hope that the bride will be pure again, will be pure and flowery with those kind of flowers. So it's some kind of ceremonial tradition, and which perhaps this come from Hinduism ritual too, but I'm not sure. However, still, this is a Java ritual, and we still have various ritual too. And this is really fascinating, because some of my friends from Malaysia said that kenduri is not becoming this festive, like unlike Indonesia, because Indonesia we make it like very big event, and all of people, the bridesmaid, and then the other are doing it like festive. All people are beautifully managed well and something like that. I've ever come to kenduri like for 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm not mistaken. But in kenduri, I think people come, they eat, because there are a lot of food, and then take a photo and then go. But in Indonesia, as we have like so many ritual, people are coming and see the ritual from the first until the end. So this is the wedding customs. So next slide, please. Oh yeah, they give money also in Indonesia too, and in Malaysia too, I think. Okay, next slide. Okay, I think this is gonna be the end of my presentation. Places to go. As I have shared to you guys what is the customs, how is the culture, how if you go from West Java to East Java, how if you go from Sumatra, how many tribes you will find, how many languages you will find. So here we go with places to go. First of all, I'd like to mention Bali, because this is the very famous one from Indonesia. Even the United States people are coming to Bali, and they didn't even recognize Indonesia, but they recognize Bali as a state, not Indonesia as a state. This is poor, but yeah, it's fine. And then the second is Yogyakarta, which I mentioned too. This one, which on the left side below, is Borobudur Temple from the Buddhists. And on a center, we have Jakarta, the Indonesian Kuala Lumpur, if I can compare. So on its right, we have Raja Ampat. So if Natasha just now is asking about how to dive, is there any chance to dive? Is there any chance to hike? Raja Ampat is a very great place to explore things and live with the nature. And also we have Karimun Jawa. Karimun Jawa is not not as costly as Raja Ampat, so you can go to Karimun Jawa too. I think that's all. But on the next slide, because I mentioned the places to go, I want you guys go with nothing and hang in. I like to explain about our currency. No, it's before this. We have the currency stuff. Okay. For the currency, Indonesia started with 1,000. Unlike Malaysia, Malaysia start with 1 ringgit Malaysia, while in Indonesia we have 1,000 rupiah as our lowest. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, the currency, we have 1,000 for the lowest, 2,000, the next 5,000, 10,000, 20, 50, and 100,000. But 1 Malaysian ringgit is equal to 3,300 and blah, blah, blah. So if you guys buying POIs for 1.5, 1 Malaysian ringgit 50 cent, in Indonesia, we buy it like for 3,000 or 5,000. So it's, if I could say it's equal a bit, but I think Indonesian's currency is like a bit lower than Malaysians. So next slide, please. Okay, so as I mentioned, the places to go and currency as well, and the diversity, I'll help you guys to go having self-traveling to go to Indonesia and how much it's cost. So I mentioned and I budgeting here from KL. So flight to Jakarta, it's not one way around flight. It's about 2 million rupiah times 2. It's gonna be about 4 million. But if you go with Air Asia, you can have it like cheaper than 2 million. So yeah, it's manageable. You can choose your airline. And then for the hotels, for 3 days, you can have decent hotels for 300,000 rupiah for 1 day. So times 3 is gonna be 900,000. And for the meals, if you go self-traveling, I think you're not gonna be spending a lot of money. I mean, a lot. So, and because it's self-traveling, it's just by our own self. So it's us who manage the money. I'll take it 100,000 as the standard, 100,000 as the standard for 1 meal, times 3 and times 3. So it's gonna be 900,000. And for the tickets and leisure, in case you guys want to go to some places, it's gonna be like 200,000 times 3. So it's 600. So in total, it's going to be 6,400,000 rupiah, which equal to 1,800 ringgit Malaysia, which equal to 450 USD. One insight I'd like to give you, one of my friend from Egypt, he's only spending like 200 USD to come to Indonesia, having time in Jakarta like for several days and come back to Malaysia, and it's only having like 200 USD. So this is really interesting. It's just about depend on how we spend the money. However, inshallah, this is affordable for students to have self-traveling to Indonesia. And I think that's all. Next slide is the last slide. And thank you so much for having me. I'm Rachel Noorajavi, a proud Indonesian student in IIUM. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Rachel. We are very proud to have you here as well. So I think generally Rachel and also Paul has shared that their country is very diverse in religions, in cultures, and also in ethnicity, but they practice tolerance. So they are really living in harmony. So that is something that that is very interesting in their sharing. I from what I believe. Also, I think in Indonesia particularly, they are very rich in their cultures, even though they share the same similarity with some of our customs here in Malaysia. I think we do have the mandi siraman here as well, but we don't practice that as much. I think I have heard some people practicing it, but it's not really something. It's basically something from the old generations. So thank you very much for the sharing, Rachel. I am very keen to go to Indonesia as well. I've never been there.
We're waiting.
With please, I will come to your house soon, inshallah. So
Sure.
next, we will move on to the Q&A session with Rachel. Similarly, you can type your burning questions in the Zoom chat box, or if you wish to speak up, please do so. Please raise your hand so we can entertain you. I think we have the first question from earlier in the presentation from Brother Anas. So how long is the general election usually given the vast population?
Well, for the general election, is always become something really interesting because we have a huge and large place to go for the campaign and for the general election as well. But we do it once in the same day.
Oh, it's
So-
only in one day?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So for one tenure, which is 5 years, it's gonna be done on one day
Oh,
for the whole Indonesia. So yeah, we do it all together.
yeah. Oh, that's very short. I assume it will be quite maybe 2-3 days. So thank you, Rachel. Good to know. We have another marriage questions here as well. We had one with Paul just now. So how much mas kawin and hantaran for marriage in Indonesia? Is it easier and cheaper as compared to Malaysia? Interesting.
I'm sorry, but that term is not me. I mean, I couldn't answer that question because I still have no idea about that. But I don't know. Maybe some other Indonesians who's come in here can answer because yeah, the question is really major thing, and I'm still child. I'm still a student, and I'm thinking about my journey in this study. So yeah.
MashaAllah.
But one thing interesting is the income in Malaysia. I think Malaysia is really respecting job because last time I see the classification of B40 class for Malaysian, it's like for those having less than 3,000, if I'm not mistaken, is it?
Somewhere around 4,000 over, I think. B40.
Yeah. For Indonesia, even teacher can have like 300 ringgit, equal to 300 ringgit. So it's just really sad to know that.
I see.
So in a way, again, to the question, as I answering the question, if you're asking how much mahar do you need? Yeah, some class seeing 300 ringgit equal to 1 million rupiah is just a big amount of money, so they can accept that. So yeah, it's just according to their classes.
It's okay. Maybe Brother Izzat can direct his question to someone else who is more knowledgeable in this area, because Sister Rachel is a very diligent student. She's focusing on her studies first. So Nabila is asking you, Rachel, do you have any recommendation of any nice Indonesian food in IIUM?
Nice Indonesian food in IIUM. I don't know. I eat some food at IRKHS. I eat some food at what is that? Ayam gepuk at Bilal. So yeah, I think that's nice if it's in IIUM. We also have like mie Aceh. We also have like mie Aceh near to Batu Gombak, if I'm not mistaken, or near to the gate of IIUM. So you guys can try that. Here, some are answering. Some of the participants are answering warung soto Lamongan, cendol durian runtuh. So yeah.
Gorengan Kak Leha, Bilal, ayam geprek Kak Lin, Rukaya. Yes, my roommate just ate ayam geprek last night. It was an insightful experience. So, Rachel, other than in IIUM particularly, which restaurant is the best in KL for Indonesian food?
I don't know. I couldn't say that I am spending a lot to have around. I prefer to go to Jalan Alor and buy some like durian goreng and some food in Jalan Alor. So So I don't know, because Indonesian food and Malaysian food are similar, so I couldn't say that this one is Indonesian, but but on the other hand, it's actually Malaysians. So yeah, that's it.
So nice to know about food. Food is particularly what attracted me to tonight as well. I felt very hungry after looking at the slides. So maybe I will eat after this. So we have one more question. Is Malay language enough to speak when we go to any places like Riau, Sumatra, Java, or Bali?
I think for Riau and Sumatra, yes, it's enough. But for Java and Bali, I think the accent, because we have quite different accent for Malay and Indonesia. Jadi kalau misalkan mau ngomong pakai bahasa Indonesia itu nadanya seperti ini. Tapi kalau misalkan pakai bahasa Malaysia, I cannot try that. I'm not expert on that. But Marsha, perhaps you can say some, so we can know how it sounds different.
Okay, kalau nak cakap dalam bahasa Malaysia jadi macam ni. So
kalau pakai bahasa Indonesia jadinya kayak gini.
Interesting. It's a difference in pronunciation.
Yeah.
But it's not much difference in words, but it's very different in pronunciation. So,
yes.
So please learn Indonesian as well. So we have a recommendation for honeymoon places. Guess we're not finished with marriage now. It's now honeymoon. Do you have any recommendation for honeymoon places? Somewhere like Maldives?
Yeah, it's based on people's preference. But if Nat is mentioning Maldives, so I will say it's Bali. Some others like to be in a hill or mountain, so they can choose Bandung or Yogyakarta, because Yogyakarta is also having mountain, and Solo as well. We have mountain too. There are a lot of mountain here. There are a lot of beaches here too. But for the Maldives vibe, I think it's gonna be Bali.
Okay, Nabila, please experience your honeymoon in Bali as recommended by Rachel just now. We have one more question about honeymoon in Bali from Adam. So approximately how much does a honeymoon cost in Bali as an average person?
I couldn't say. Bali's quite expensive. If I mention like it's gonna be like around 6,400,000 for the whole 3 days in Jakarta, I think it's enough. But 6,400,000 in Bali, it's possible because they need homestay and food and so on and so on, and it's tourist attraction too. So the cost is like more costly.
Yes, that is understandable considering it's ala Maldives as said by Nabila just now. So, other than that, have you ever joined Kemnas? I think it's a popular event there in Indonesia. Asma asks.
Is Kemnas something about scout or what? If it is something about scouting, yes. I do ever join, Pramuka. I do ever join some sort of Kemnas, or we could say it's like a camping for scout girl and rover girl, something like that. We're learning Morse, we're learning codes, and so on. Yeah, I do, and it's really interesting because we met a lot of people from many states many provinces in Indonesia. So yeah, it's really interesting experience.
Okay, great. So I think we have Pengakap here in Malaysia, and you have Pandu Putri as well. So it's great to know that Indonesia has the same thing as well. So next question by Nabila. Do you have any skydiving places in Indonesia?
Well, I think we have, but I haven't ever experienced that for skydiving. Most of them are paralayang, which is affordable for students because skydiving must be so expensive. So I'm not really doing a research on that because I don't have a lot of money to just spend the leisure time. So sad. But yeah, we have skydiving in Indonesia.
All right, great to know. I think I missed one question from Anas. How many Indonesian students are there in IIUM? Do we have Indonesian lecturers in AHAS IRKHS or any other kuliah? Do you know that, Rachel?
Yes, we have a lot. We're actually, according to our data, is actually 400 people in Indonesian student in IIUM. But rumor says it's more because we have a lot of PG student, postgraduate student too, and undergraduate is like around 200 something. And for the lecturer, yes, we do have. It's I think it's like around 20 something for the whole IIUM. But for the IRKHS, Dr. Alwi, we also have Pasoni. I think Pasoni's come from IRKHS too. Yeah.
Wow, that's really refreshing. It's refreshing to know as compared to
Ustadz Muntaha too from IRKHS.
Prof. Mira also ICT. It's quite refreshing to know you have a large population of Indonesian students and lecturers here in IIUM as compared to what Paul has said just now at Lithuania. We only have just one here, so it's very very refreshing. We have a very large number of population for Indonesian students. So do we have more questions from the floor? You can ask here maybe one more question, or you can also raise your hand. If not, we will move on to the Kahoot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Rachel. Also, I think we have the link here if you are interested in PPIM, IIUM. If you want to know more about the Indonesian Society, please do check out PPIIUM. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us start. After hearing from our two speakers, Paul and Rachel, on their cultures, now it's time to test how much you have been paying attention and following the sharing. So we will be playing Kahoot consisting of 6 questions related to the culture of Indonesia and Lithuania. So the link for Kahoot is shared in the chat box. Just click on that link and insert the game pin. Okay. We will wait for the pin now. Dun, dun, dun. Refreshing. Also, if you have yet to fill in the attendance link, attendance form, please do so. It's one of the committees will come will recommend the attendance form soon. Please do so. Please. Okay, this is the game pin. Come on, everyone, do insert. We will wait for 1 minute for everyone to join. So is everyone in? No. Okay, come on. Please, we have amazing prizes for you guys. Okay, this is the attendance form. Please do fill in the form. If you want star points. Yes, we have Anas, Hayan, Chuan, Fika, Pak Wan, 1998 Zoom, Izak. We have Hana also, Shah, Ayang Gepok, wow. Are you guys hungry? Because I am. We have Aiman and saya, I am not in there. We have Muzab, Afghan Fan. We have D and Mbani. So we will wait until 10:33. So if anyone wants to join, okay, we have Abba Pushu, okay. We have Shahmi Mimi. All right. We have a lot of participants here. Do come in. Siapa tak ada lagi? So we have 17 now. Let's make it to 20. And we have very exciting prizes for you guys. Are you not interested? If I can join, I want to join. I cannot. Oh, we have satay potato here. Yes, I am interested in potato as well. We have potatoes. Okay, risau lah. Kita lah PLR. Okay. Anyone else wants to join? 19 now. Come back, come back. Who left just now? Come back. We need 20 people. Okay, let's wait like 10 seconds. Okay, Wasola Kampung B. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start the game. Dialogue 4. Lithuania is between which countries? Egypt and Jordan, Britain and Canada, New Zealand and Australia, or Russian and Poland? Okay, we have 11 answers now. Wow, very fast. Very fast. 16, 18, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, 21 answers. Wow, almost everyone got it correct except one. Great. Congratulations. Next. For the second question, how much is 1 ringgit to Indonesian rupiah? Around 2,000 rupiah, around 3,000 rupiah, or around 4,000 rupiah. Okay, come on, you can do this. You can win the exciting prize. You have 6 more seconds. Great, it's actually around 3,000 rupiah. Congratulations, 1998 Zoom, you are still on top. Juan and Ayam Kepo is currently coming up. Let's go next. What is Lithuania's national sport? Wow. Cricket, football, basketball, weightlifting. Which one? If you pay attention, you will know. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, it's basketball. The one that Paul said that he cannot play at all. Congratulations, 1998 Zoom, you're still there. All right, Hannah is coming up. So everyone, we still have 3 more questions. To what country does the Indonesian flag similar to? I remember this one. Monaco, Hollandia, New Zealand. Dang, dang, dang. You know this. I know you know. Yes, it is Monaco. Oh, please someone, please do kejar 1998 Zoom. You can do this. So next, let's go next. Okay, 2 more. What is Lithuania's staple food? Oh, we have been talking about this a lot. You guys know this. And I would go to Lithuania just for the ting. Yes, I would go to Lithuania just for the potatoes. Wow, 1998 Zoom, but satay potato is coming for you. Okay, let's go for the last question. Who is 1998 Zoom? Wow. Okay. These are Indonesians' recommended place to visit, except where? Yogyakarta, Raja Ampat, or Ontai Kim. Oh, guys, please. This is a trick question. This is a free question. Everyone knows this. Yes, Idaman. Jeng jeng, of course. Wow, the podium. 12 ringgit. Wow, for number 3 is saya menang. Second is Wasola Kampung B. And the first, of course, as we all know, 1998 Zoom. So the fourth is Easy and the fifth is Satay. So thank you everyone. For the winner, 1998 Zoom, please DM PrepTech Asma to claim the prize. Thank you very much everyone for participating. So brothers and sisters, we have come to the end of our fourth and final cultural dialogue series. It is a great honor to be your host for tonight. We hope you gain a lot of new information and knowledge on the culture of Indonesia and Lithuania. A big thank you to our collaborators, Brunei Student Union and sponsor Aunila Group for your support towards IRKHS. To all our speakers, Paulius Bergaudas and Rachel Noorajavi, we all thank you for the insightful sharing, and it's a pleasure to have both of you with us tonight. So reminder for IIUM students to fill up the attendance form for Star Points. Links to the form have been shared in the chat box. So before we end our session, please join us for a photography session. If you are comfortable, please keep your camera switched on and smile. Please, who is taking the photo?
I'm gonna take the photo. Everyone, you can start. Open your camera. You can wait for another 10 seconds.
Okay.
Mantap. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Good. One more. 1, 2, 3. Mantap. Thank you.
Thank you, Ulin. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. Stay safe and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Ilya Marsha for IRKHS. Thank you.